Welcome to Polk Today. I'm your host, Brian Lacey. Polk Today is a daily show airing Monday through Friday here on PGTV with useful county information, weather, and highlights from PGTV programs, along with previewing upcoming meetings. Today is Monday, August 18th. For most of us, it's just another Monday, but for students and parents, it's the first day of the new school year. For motorists, this means school buses, pedestrians, and bicycles are just a few of the things that we should be on the lookout for. Brad Ruman with Polk County Fire Rescue has a few tips to make your commute a safer one.
I'm Brad Ruman, Public Information Officer for Polk County Fire Rescue. It's that time of year again. Schools are back in session, students are out in droves crossing the streets and walking down sidewalks. Polk County Fire Rescue reminds you to slow down in school zones and keep these tips in mind. Always obey school crossing guards. Be aware of the location and speed of school zones along daily routes. Do not speed in school zones. Anticipate anything and everything. Children often dart out in front of cars without looking first. And avoid multitasking while driving, like eating or drinking, using your cell phone, or tuning the radio. Remember, slow down in school zones. You could save yourself a ticket, or you could save a child's life. For more safety information, visit us at polkfire.net.
You know, the legal system can be an intimidating experience. In some cases, you have the right to self-representation. The Polk County Clerk of Court's new self-representation system makes e-filing a success here in Polk County.
Individuals representing themselves in court cases can now file court documents online using the statewide e-filing portal at myflcourtaccess.com. E-filing is not required for self-represented filers, and our office will continue to accept paper filings.
SPCA Florida is an animal shelter, veterinary clinic, animal hospital, and animal adoption center in the Polk County community. Yearly, they find permanent homes for over 5,000 homeless cats and dogs. Here's a look at Amos and Lenny, a cat and a dog in need of a forever home.
Meet Amos, one of our longest residents. Amos is a loving, laid-back guy who's friendly and loves to meet new people. He has a moderate activity level and actively seeks out head scratches. A self-proclaimed social butterfly, Amos loves to spend his time being silly with other kitties, tossing around toys to stay fit, and casually exploring his digs. His low vocalization levels make him remarkably good at playing hide and seek, though most likely he can be found sunbathing on a windowsill. Amos has been patiently waiting to meet his new parents and to be taken to the forever home of his dreams. If he sounds like the perfect companion for you, come meet Amos today. Lenny can't wait to meet you. He's house-trained, energetic, and absolutely adores begging strips. Maybe if you use small pieces of those treats, you can teach him cool tricks like shake and stay. How fun would that be? Lenny has been transferred in from another shelter, so we aren't sure if he gets along with other dogs or cats. But he has been to off-site adoption events, and he did great there. While he didn't find his forever home, he enjoyed going for a ride. Lenny isn't worried, though. He knows you're coming soon, right?
Staying on top of the day's events here at Polk Today includes a look at the weather. For the latest forecast and conditions, we take you to the Emergency Operations Center in Winter Haven with the Emergency Operations Center Coordinator, Billy Abernathy.
Good morning, I'm Bill Abernathy, Polk County Emergency Management in the Emergency Operations Center. This is your weather conditions for Monday, August 18th, 2014. Currently, the temperature is 74 degrees with a humidity of 96%. Clear to partly cloudy skies currently. Today, we expect a high of 94 with a low of 76. Heat index will be at 97%. 20% chance of scattered thunderstorms with winds generally from the west at 6 miles per hour. For Tuesday, we have a high of 96, a low of 76, 10% chance of thunderstorms with the winds out of the west at 5 to 7 miles per hour. And on Wednesday, we have a high of 96 with a low of 74 with a 20% chance of isolated thunderstorms. Winds will be generally from the west-northwest at 3 to 8 miles per hour. And in the tropics, we're currently monitoring a low pressure system in the middle Atlantic. Some development may occur as this system gradually moves westward. Currently, within 48 hours, only has a 10% chance of development, and within 5 days, a 30% development in the tropics. This is Bill Abernathy, Polk County Emergency Management in the Emergency Operations Center.
Thanks, Billy. Hey, you know, Science Quest is a show that highlights various government agencies and cooperatives that utilize science in their day-to-day work. Coming up in September, host Steve Barnes joins with Brian Finder, the lead environmental technician for Polk County Parks and Natural Resources, to talk about how the county treats invasive aquatic weeds like hydrilla. Here's a sneak peek.
Little bit of life.
Ludwigia grandiflora. It kind of grows on top of the water in like fingers, and it hits a different stage. It'll get a little bit taller and woody. It's mainly on the Kissimmee chain, St. Johns River. A couple of our lakes down in that region of the county, we're aggressively managing for it because it again, like these other species, it kind of takes over. And on the Kissimmee chain, you have a lot of grass beds. People call them Kissimmee grass, not grass, and that plant has a tendency to smother over those grassy areas. So those are, you know, some of the other species that we're managing for. It seems like there's always a new one coming in.
Well, Brian, you know, this is all really interesting, but you know, you did mention possibly going out on the boat, and who wouldn't like to take an airboat ride? So maybe we could go take a look at some of this stuff in the actual habitat.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go.
All right. I have an example of eelgrass right here that I've pulled up out of the water. This is a beneficial native that we like to see. And
so this is the stuff that's good for the lakes.
it's considered good habitat.
Now,
yes.
why is that? Why is it good as opposed to the other stuff?
Well, as we mentioned earlier, weeds have good functions in a healthy, you know, system. They take up nutrients that would otherwise be taken up by algae. They create habitat, you know, food for you know, for wildlife and things like that. So this is one of the beneficial natives that we like to see.
Okay.
And mixed in with it, and this is an example of in 4 different areas around this lake we found hydrilla mixed in. We're in an area where it was pretty much the most dense, but we were able to isolate those areas and create zones to treat the hydrilla within. And we know from past experience that we can use a specific herbicide to take out the hydrilla while leaving the eelgrass untouched. And that will make it harder for the hydrilla to get a foothold on the rest of the lake while giving the eelgrass more of a chance to thrive.
Now, I noticed that here, okay, so on the side of the boat, I'll try to keep from tipping it over, but how close can we get to the side?
You can go, you're not gonna fall in.
Okay, so I'm seeing like the eelgrass and the hydrilla here floating away. It's kind of mixed together. Is that what you're referring to as, you know, that's why it's invasive, because it's actually, when it mixes together like that, it's killing the eelgrass?
Yes, it's basically crowding it out. When hydrilla gets to the surface like this or close to the surface, it changes its growth pattern. It begins to branch out and form that thick mat just below the surface, and that essentially just smothers out the other vegetation. It takes the light away. It just crowds it right out and pushes it out.
But I do see like a lot of little minnows and things like that floating around. Do they like this invasive stuff because of the thick mat that it creates, or?
Yeah, I would think that a minnow would.
Hey, that's going to do it for today's show. As a reminder, to keep current with programs and progress in the county, visit us online at polk-county.net or follow us on Facebook and Twitter, or even check out the Polk County YouTube channel. The Lakeland City Commission meeting is coming up at 9 o'clock right here on PGTV, so make sure you stick around for that. I invite you to join us Tuesday when we'll take a look at some of Polk County's most wanted with Heartland Crime Stoppers, a health update from Building a Healthier Polk, and a look at a new show on PGTV, The Commissioner's Report, just to name a few. For Polk Today, I'm Brian Lacey, and we'll see you tomorrow.